8 chimes the hour clock, somewhere suburbia, out where the flowers still grow by the tree. Bedroom of little one, head on a pillow, reaching for dreams that the day can set free. Wallpaper trains in a vision of Summerland, eider-down clowns in a light shade of blue, kisses of mother placed high on a curly head, milky white skin with a freckle or two. Heavy-held lids after passion of story time, hands holding tight to the teddy bear toy, words getting lost in a mixture of fairy tales, wrapped up in something he wants to enjoy. Sleep now controls the energy everywhere. Kitten can rest without looking behind, until the morning brings smiles to a cheeky face, until more mischief re-enters his mind. The clock chimed out. The hour was late. The figure groaned and moved towards the grate. Dying embers were raked again, to try and bring to life one tired flame. He muttered oaths on a winter's breath, and thought of Marley now in death. Was that a rattle of chain on wood? Maybe his jagged mind misunderstood, but now the dragging sound he heard, from what seemed a whisper, became a word. The spectre stood before him, large as life, a stab inside like some sharp knife. Ebenezer Scrooge, I speak to you in pain. In life you helped me forge each chain. I come to tell you why I'm sent, to make you learn, your mind indent. Upon this Christmas Eve you'll see 3 more spirits, just like me. They will show you the sins you've borne, to make life sad for those you've torn. He rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Is this some trick? Is this some thief? Maybe the soup he ate was sour, too much to stomach at such an hour. Then all alone he was once more. He shuffled across and bolted the door. Sleep began to walk through his mind, when he was prodded from behind. A ghostly spectre stood in the room, lighting up the stark and gloom. I am the ghost of Christmas past. I've come to show what you've amassed. The spirit took him through the night, and showed him memories in his sight. His childhood flowed before his eyes, the joy and laughter, the true surprise. You used to be one loving man, the spirit boomed, before your sins began. His memory jolted, a small tear fell, before the clock tower rang out its knell. The hour struck 1, he was back in bed, back from where he had been led. Just a dream, he thought, shivering again, as he listened to the wind blow against the pane. Then all at once the room was bright, filled with shimmer and dancing light. Before him stood a laughing host. Christmas present, said the second ghost. The spectre grabbed his startled hand, and took him out across the land, to where one poor family grew. The Cratchit house he was given view. A little boy so frail sat in a chair. His mother lovingly combed his hair. See, the spirit said, how your clerk lives, after all the work and the hours he gives. Before Scrooge could reply, he was back in bed, with the ghostly words ringing in his head. But sleep wouldn't come as he cowered down, and he heard the clock chime in the town. The hour was 3 when the third ghost came, a dark hooded figure, this miser to tame. Without a word the shadow moved on, taking Scrooge to where no sun shone, to a churchyard and an etched-out stone, where tiny Tim Cratchit was buried alone. "Oh no!" cried Scrooge. "This cannot be! This is something I don't wish to see." Then the spirit pointed to another place, and the blood drained from the miser's face. There, marked in letters bold, "Here lies the body of Ebenezer Scrooge." "I cannot die. I've too much life to live. I want to change. I want to give." Now back he lay in this lonely room. He rubbed his eyes to cut the gloom. and rushing to his window shade, he threw it back so the light now played. He opened up his shuttered place, and shouted down with a new-found grace, "You there! Yes, you young boy! Do you want half a crown to bring you joy?" The urchin cried, "Yes, please, but why?" The miser smiled with a twinkling eye, "Go to the butcher's in the next street, and bring me the biggest goose he has to eat." The Cratchits sat in their humble place. It was Christmas Day, but Bob wore a sorry face. "I wish I could give you all a treat, but we can barely afford to eat." A knock was heard on the house front door, and Bob Cratchit gasped when he saw who stood before. "Good morning, Mr. Scrooge," he said with surprise, for he could scarcely believe his eyes. "Merry Christmas to you all," Ebenezer cried. "This goose is for you." Their eyes opened wide. "You will never want for food next year. I'll give you a rise." Tiny Tim gave a cheer. "God bless us all," the boy called out. "Oh, yes, indeed," said Scrooge, "without a doubt." Here was a man who felt so new. His heart was good, and his love was true. O dark and wretched winged war, you call for lives, you call for more. O serpent's tail you twist and turn, with bombing blast and fires burn. The chill of night won't stop your scream, you're in the air of every dream, and when the morning dawns again, you speak to us in acid rain. You don't seek peace, you only ache to find more death that you can rake. The bloodied and the twisted mind, our eager friends, they are your kind. For through their eyes you see your place in every dark and fearsome face. Held in your spell the warriors fight, some ask for freedom, some for right. But all the time your echoes rage through every land, in every age. To calm is not within your reach, you're like the waves that crash each beach. Your tumbrils spin as numbers rise, you're on the ground and in the skies. Will nothing ever stop your play, or must this earth just blow away? I wish I could go to the fields again, where my father was in this splash of green, where the earth smelled new in the morning air, and the wind would blow to disturb your hair. I wish I could go to the fields again, where my father was in this splash of green, where a river spoke as it ran along, and a meadow lark sang its summer song. Sun made movements between the cloud, your sweet laughter came soft, then loud. Trees stood dancing with waving arms, then stopped to listen when there were calms. I wish I could go to the fields again, where my father was in this splash of green, where silence lived in a forest night, playing hide and seek with the daytime light. Honest pilgrims as nature's friends knew every landmark and river's bends, where the cowslip would dare to grow until the sleep time beneath the snow. Dandelion clocks blown in childhood games, gentle chiding and calling names. Pools of fantasy that filled our days with budding starlets in scene-filled plays. Sometimes tears which are bound to fall, for mischief comes to haunt us all. But I wish I could go to those fields again, where my father was in this splash of green.